My name is Guy Itauma. Moses Itauma. I think he's a great fighter. The young, 20 years, yeah?
That's why you got to watch it and find out. But one thing I will say about Moses is he's a very good fighter, good little boxer, good puncher, and a lovely kid as well. It's like a sponge.
Why are you taking this fight? Because this kid is on fire right now. He's getting better and better. It's not like he's going backwards, he's going forward.
Fighters are already speaking out about how terrifying Moses Itauma is in the ring. At just 20 years old, he's turning heads with his raw power, razor-sharp focus, and mature discipline. Tyson Fury has praised the young heavyweight, saying Moses listens, learns quickly, and hits with serious force. The fact that he's willing to take on seasoned opponents like Dillian Whyte at this stage in his career shows not only confidence but real talent. Many in the boxing world now see Moses not just as a rising prospect but as a genuine threat who's already earning the respect of elite heavyweights.
Good fight actually, especially for Moses. I think it's a very good time to fight Dillian. He's had a couple of years out the ring. But make no mistake, Dillian Whyte is a massive puncher. It's a head and body. I know he's taking it very serious. I'm speaking to Ty Mitchell, who's in training camp with him. And looking forward to the fight. It's a big step up for Moses because he hasn't really fought anybody on Dillian's level. The old Dillian, it was a couple of years ago. It's going to be interesting to see how much that Dillian Whyte has left. And could this be potential? I think it does have the potential to do what Martin McCauley did to Jared Anderson. Maybe it's too early, or maybe he passes with flying colours. And that's why you got to watch it and find out. But one thing I will say about Moses is he's a very good fighter, good little boxer, good puncher, and a lovely kid as well. It's like a sponge. You tell him something, he absorbs it and he listens. And that's the great thing about the young kid who's coming up. He's only 20 years old. I told him a few years ago, forget about breaking records. Take your time. You've only got one career, and just enjoy it because I remember when I was 19, 20, and now 36 has gone like that. Very quick.
Alexander Usyk, widely regarded as one of the most technically brilliant boxers of this era, didn't shy away from expressing his admiration for Moses Itauma. In a recent interview, Usyk called Moses a great young fighter, applauding his strength and the maturity he shows in the ring. Praise like that from a champion who's faced and defeated the best in the world speaks volumes. For a 20-year-old to earn such recognition from someone of Usyk's stature proves Moses is far from an ordinary prospect. Usyk's words not only highlight Moses's raw power but also point to a level of composure and dedication rarely seen at such a young age.
My name is Guy Itauma. Moses Itauma. I think he's a great fighter. The young, 20 years, yeah?
20.
Yeah, 20 years. I think Itauma have big future.
Moses Itauma's coach recently shared a revealing insight into the young heavyweight's character, his deep passion for boxing history. Much like Mike Tyson, Moses isn't just interested in current matchups, he dives into the past, studying the legends who paved the way. He watches old fight footage and reads about their lives, their struggles, their styles, and how they carved out their legacies. This mindset separates him from many of his peers who focus solely on today's competition. His hunger to understand the roots of the sport speaks volumes about his dedication. It's this obsession with learning, both mentally and physically, that gives Moses a level of depth and maturity far beyond most 20-year-olds in the game.
I think probably the biggest comparison I would say is how Mike Tyson loved the game, would always study fighters of the past, etc. Moses has that same love for it.
Does he?
Yeah, like we'll send him his sparring at 2 a.m. He'll be texting us clips like, is this more what you want?
He's a student.
Yeah, he absolutely loves it. And that, along with his maturity at his age.
Very composed, isn't he? Very composed. Yeah.
That is what is allowing him to achieve what he's achieving at such a young age.
Yeah.
Because there's lots of talented fighters out there, but not many that
can execute it on the back of it, yeah.
It's no wonder people are already drawing comparisons between Moses Itauma and a young Mike Tyson. With his aggressive approach, explosive power punches, and composed ring presence, many believe Moses is on a fast track to becoming a world champion before he even turns 21. That would be a remarkable feat, especially in a division where young fighters rarely get the chance to face top-tier opponents. His combination of strength, speed, and fearless confidence brings clear echoes of Tyson's early reign of destruction. Yet, despite the weight of these comparisons, Moses remains grounded, focused not on the hype, but on letting his performances speak for themselves.
Jared Anderson had better opposition in his first 12 fights than Moses Itauma. Guaranteed without a doubt. Guaranteed without a doubt. He had better opposition. But Jared gets criticized. You know, here we have a guy like Moses being called essentially the next Mike Tyson. They believe he can win a world title under 21
Moses
years.
Itauma didn't become this sharp by chance. By the time he was 18, boxing insiders were already taking notice of how refined and technically skilled he was. With hundreds of amateur bouts under his belt, Moses had developed a level of composure and ring intelligence beyond his years. His footwork, defensive instincts, and crisp combinations showed he was built for the pro ranks well before he officially turned professional. That early groundwork gave him a massive head start. While many fighters need years to adapt, Moses stepped into the pro scene looking like he was made for it, and it's that early dedication that makes his rapid rise seem almost effortless.
As athletic as he is, look polished as he is. Bear in mind, I interviewed Moses Itauma before his pro debut, and one of the questions I really wanted to ask was how many amateur fights he'd had. For someone who looked so polished and was turning pro so young, bear in mind he'd only just turned 18 at the time, right? This is 3 years ago now. I really wanted to know how many amateur fights he had to look as polished as he did. And in that interview, he told me it was something like 22, 23 amateur fights, which is really quite a low amount. It was a bit of a kind of land when he said it. I remember at the time thinking, huh? And then obviously you're interviewing, so you want to try and get the next question. You don't want to be stopped in your tracks. But it genuinely nearly did stop me in my tracks. Given how polished he looked, how good he looked, you know, I was thinking, yikes, that's actually a bit of a strange one for someone to look that polished in such short of a time. And he's obviously been fighting good amateurs, and obviously he's not one of these amateurs like Anthony Yarde, no offence, who had 10 amateur fights against low level, probably wasn't doing a great deal of sparring, just had that natural ability. Alright, just had it.
Veteran heavyweight Derek Chisora raised eyebrows over Dillian Whyte's decision to take on rising phenom Moses Itauma. Chisora questioned the timing, noting that while Whyte has been inactive, Moses has been steadily leveling up with each camp. At just 20 years old, Itauma is gaining momentum fast, refining his style, sharpening his power, and growing more dangerous by the day. Chisora warned that youth doesn't mean inexperience in this case. The real concern, he said, isn't just whether Dillian is ready, it's how quietly lethal Moses has become. When seasoned fighters start sounding the alarm, you know the threat is real.
Weeks ago, they offered me to fight Moses Itauma in Saudi. You know, I said, how much? I said, 2 million. I said, nah. I even phoned Dylan. I was like, Dylan, I don't know why you're taking this fight, you know, because this kid is on fire right now. He's getting better and better. It's not like he's going backwards, he's going forward.
One of the reasons he is taking it is that Moses is WBO #1 at the moment, so that there's some kind of light at the end of the tunnel for Dillian taking that fight.
No light at the end of that tunnel.
I agree with you. I think I don't think Dillian gets beyond 4 or 5 rounds.
That tunnel, you're crazy. There's no light in that tunnel. That kid is, no, you mad. No way. Even Lawrence Ottoli said.
As talk of a showdown between Moses Itauma and Dillian Whyte intensifies, the boxing community finds itself split. Some are calling Moses the most promising young heavyweight on the planet, while others warn that Dillian might be too big a leap this early in his career. Whyte brings battle-tested experience and a resume filled with elite opponents, something Moses has yet to face. But what the 20-year-old lacks in experience, he makes up for with youth, speed, and precision. This fight is being framed as a defining moment for both men. For Dillian, it's a chance to silence the hype. For Moses, it is shot to prove he belongs among the sport's most dangerous names.
Opinion that Moses is a great prospect. He's got all the talent in the world, but as a professional, he's untested. I think Dillian sees this as a perfect opportunity to shut the hype train on Itauma, beat this young prospect who everyone's shouting about and get the light back on him. Problem is, if he loses, he's got nowhere to go. It's game over. But this is boxing. High risk, high reward. Or scrambling, bottom of the heap. We know that Moses wanted to beat Mike Tyson's record, becoming the youngest heavyweight champion of the world, but he's missed that now. So we know he wants to move fast and test himself. He's reaching for greatness. As the saying goes, you can't put an old head on young shoulders. So maybe he's biting off more than he can chew. From his point of view, beating a veteran like Dillian Whyte will give him credibility. Put him in the mix with the top guys. I'm definitely a fan of Moses. He's got the skill, the talent, the work ethic, and the mindset. The only thing he lacks is experience. And I suppose the only way to get it is to fight these guys. In the fight business, you've got to have thick skin, because there's always going to be doubters. It's part of the game. Personally, I don't see the rush. There's so many good fights, even at domestic level. He's only 20. I just feel he's got time on his side. He needs time to mature. Heavyweights don't mature till late 20s. I just see so much value going the traditional route. English, British, Commonwealth, European, then world honours. In my opinion, it's so important. That's your apprenticeship. Gradually learning the game, gaining experience. Each time you pass the test, you step up. This type of progression builds the foundation.
Boxing analyst Spencer Oliver believes we've only scratched the surface of how dangerous Moses Itauma can be. With Dillian Whyte now in the frame as a potential opponent, Oliver says this could be Moses' biggest challenge yet, a true litmus test of his skill and composure. Facing a seasoned power puncher like Whyte won't just test Moses' physical abilities but also his mental toughness and ring IQ. Oliver insists Moses has all the tools, but Dillian will push him in ways he's never experienced. This isn't just a high-stakes risk for Moses, it's a huge opportunity. While most young fighters take the slow road, padding their records, Moses is aiming to fast-track his rise. Fans are already behind him, eager to see if he can pull off a statement win and earn global respect. Win or lose, this fight promises the kind of real-world experience no gym can replicate.
Someone here who I believe is a super talent, not if he wins a world heavyweight title, but when he wins a world heavyweight title. Unfortunately for Moses Itauma, he has the right man behind him in Frank Warren, because he knows how to guide the careers and take the right fights at the right time, and they feel that this is the right timing now. Dillian Whyte, who's not looked particularly good in his last couple of fights, but we know that he's heavy-handed and we know that he'll come and give it everything, because he knows it's last chance saloon for him. He needs the victory here. So, look, we find out just how good Moses Itauma is, I think, on the 16th of August when he boxes Dillian Whyte, because I think he wins it and wins it in style. But everyone they put in front of him so far, he's just dismantled. I think this kid's going to go on and win a world title, and it could be as soon as 12 months.
Moses Itauma will face Dillian Whyte in Saudi Arabia on the 16th of August. Now, I must say this, guys, I am pleasantly surprised about this. I did not expect this fight to happen right now. Now, when Dillian Whyte pulled out of the Ipswich card, I was thinking maybe he's going to fight someone like Joseph Parker or Lawrence Okoli, because they've had some beef going on. And then with Moses Itauma, after his last fight where he destroyed Mike Balogun, I thought that, he needed some learning fights. He needed fights where people or his opponent is going to give him something to think about. But I did not expect that to be Dillian Whyte. And I'm going to say here first, Moses Itauma is absolutely good.
Stories like these show exactly why Moses Itauma is built differently. According to his coach, even during punishing -15 degrees Celsius winters, Moses never missed a single run. He powered through his brutal 1,000-meter hill sprints without complaint or compromise. That kind of dedication is what separates future world champions from everyday contenders. While others slow down or take breaks, Moses pushes harder. It's this level of obsession and discipline that has veterans and analysts convinced he's on the path to greatness. Talent might open the door, but it's relentless work like this that creates an unstoppable force.
I didn't have my running shoes. I wore my uncle's trainers, and I didn't really have no running clothes, and I wore his work clothes. It was quite hard. It's also like 1,000 meter altitude, which makes it even harder with the snow, the altitude. And I actually slipped on this run as well because it's icy.
It's very honest of you to say. And what temperature would you say this was?
I think it's like -15.
Boxing analysts aren't pulling any punches when it comes to Moses Itauma. They see him not just as a rising talent but as the next major star of British boxing. At only 20 years old, Moses has already shattered expectations. His speed, ring control, and laser-sharp focus rival fighters nearly a decade older. Experts widely agree he has the complete package to become a world champion sooner rather than later. What truly sets him apart is his maturity and composure beyond his years. The buzz surrounding him isn't just hype, it's grounded in everything he's already proven inside the ring.
Presenting an award at the Mobo Awards, I think the PR stuff is really coming on very well. We've got to remember he is just 20 years old. what was Anthony Joshua doing at 20 years old? You know, what was Tyson Fury doing at 20 years old? I don't think he was necessarily holding court at presses like that or going on Graham Norton. This is a young man with a long career. He's going to win a lot of belts and he's going to make a lot of noise. And
when asked about a potential future clash with Alexander Usyk, Moses Itauma didn't hesitate. He acknowledged it would be a huge opportunity, both financially and professionally, but made sure to give Usyk full credit, calling him a hell of a fighter. That blend of confidence and humility is rare in someone so young, and it's exactly what makes Moses stand out.
But I mean, if the fight was to present itself, and there was like, right, you're fighting Usyk in May, I'm like, yeah, I'm taking it 100%. There's no loss in that. Do you get what I mean? I would take that fight 100%. But I just think, like, why would Usyk do that? Why would he? I mean, the money, he's made plenty of money.
What happens if you and Alexander Usyk sharing in December? So,
What do you think?
I'm asking you.
I know my answer, but what do you think?
It's a hell of a fight.
No, you gone commercial, you gone generic.
Moses Itauma has made it clear he wants to make his mark by taking on tough British opponents. One name he's already called out is Solomon Dakers. For Moses, facing domestic rivals isn't just about building hype, it's a calculated move to gain respect and accelerate his rise through the ranks. He's not chasing easy wins, he's chasing real challenges. His approach reflects a mix of hunger, ambition, and smart strategy, proving he's in this to earn his spot the hard way.